Warning. This program contains coarse humor and a sense of language that some people might not share. Viewer discretion is advised. Viewer dissection is not advised.
The solution came out of thin air. While Olga Dmitrievna was scolding Ilyana, I snuck out the exit. Thank goodness it was nearby. Slipping outside, I hesitated for a few moments and ran into Electronic. Looks like he was working late at the club. Where's the fire? Fire? My shuttle is leaving in 10 minutes. What? Hey, wait. Electronic's words hung in the air behind me. I ran off towards the square. It's definitely not the best place to hide. Indeed, in a state of stress or fatigue, I frequently start talking to myself. Well, not really talking, but rather mumbling under my breath. It helps me concentrate and find the right solution quickly. Okay, where to next? Where should I go? The best place would probably be the one with the least amount of people. Consequently, my way lies in the woods. Half a minute later, I was already relaxing, sitting on a stump in the forest trail. That was one hell of a getaway. I hope that will teach Ilyana to behave. Indeed, she's not a child anymore. Well, sad but true. Not a child anymore. Now a thought crossed my mind. I thought I might have sort of mishandled the whole situation. A fair share of broken tableware was because of me. Moreover, one might mention that I didn't have to engage in that mess at the beginning. It got me thinking. How's the weather? Slavia stood right before me. How does she manage to sneak up unnoticed? Thank goodness it wasn't Olga Dmitrievna. Fine. Those were the only words I managed to squeeze out of myself. I thought I'd find you here. Why? I'm not sure, it's just... She looked up at the sky. There are fewer people around here. Does Slavia really think I have some sort of social phobia? On second thought, she's actually has a good reason to think so. And what are you doing here? Looking for you. She smiled again, but this time her smile looked a bit different. A little friendlier, I guess. Me? Why? Can't you guess? I braced and prepared for a harsh lecture. I understand that you're guilty to a lesser degree than Ilyana. Now the camp leader's assistant is defending me. I felt even more pathetic. Damn, get serious. We're not playing good cop, bad cop here. But if I grant that you aren't going to help her, then at least help me. Saying that, Slavia looked up at the sky yet again. I wonder what she's looking for up there. And what do I need to do? We have to reorganize the books in the library. It's a better than disciplinary enslavement together with Ilyana. And anyway, it was an offer I couldn't refuse. I'm at your service, mademoiselle, or madam. She laughed. Then follow me, monsieur. In a couple of minutes we were in the library. All the way I kept looking around in fear of meeting Olga Dmitrievna. It looks like Slavia didn't notice my anxiety. And still, it's quite odd she hadn't scolded me. Well, if we were to continue our analogy, Slavia is definitely the good cop. When I went inside, gleaming sunlight streamed through the windows of the library with myriad dust particles dancing in the beams. This is special library dust, that distinctive smell that you can never confuse with anything else. These microscopic pieces of moribund collected of works of Marxist-Leninism classics. That's interesting. Does the dust near the fiction shelf smell similar to the dust near the physics and chemistry? You start with those, Rose. Slavia pointed at the bookshelf near Lenin's sculptured head. Okay, but what exactly do I have to do? Just remove the books from the shelves and put them on the floor. We'll dust them and put them back. By looking at all the dust, reading is hardly the pioneer's favorite activity. Any idea where Xenia might be? Don't know, she's probably went somewhere. Strange. It seems as though there are two places in this world where one can meet Xenia, the library or the canteen. I got into gear. I guess I've never handled many books at one time in my entire life. Anyway, I'm much more used to reading from a computer screen or a tablet. Firstly, there is no need for electronic books, and secondly, you cannot find everything in printed form. How's it going? Asked Slavia from behind the bookshelves. It's okay. It's going little by little. Have you read anything about that? About what? Well, about communism. Nah, I'm kind of more into historical books. And adventures. Me too. Well, historical literature wasn't exactly my favorite part, but the class struggle under socialism was definitely no match for it. Hey, don't hold a grudge against Uliana. I don't. Indeed, I felt that my ego had mostly recovered from the incident at the canteen. Besides, I managed to cleanse myself of the lunch leftovers in the forest lake. It's not like she's doing it out of spite. Out of spite or not, one would think through one's own actions. Whatever. I kept moving around dozens of books written by people totally unknown to me. I'm gonna forget who they are in a minute, and I'll never get to know what they were writing about. That is the doom of many writers, to become a forsaken set of letters in a hardcover on a bookshelf in a library of a non-existent pioneer camp's reality. Have you finished? Yeah, I think so. Me too. Okay, let's do it this way. I'll wipe them down, you put them back on the shelves. But I don't remember what order they were placed in before. It's okay, nobody reads them anyway. It looks like she has a smile for every occasion. A couple of times I noticed slight differences in the shades of emotion in that smile. Joy, happiness, sadness. But these shades were so evanescent. Evanescent? I wasn't sure that I'm not imagining things. This time her smile looked a little flirty. Yeah, probably. At least I wouldn't be reading this stuff. Slavia was wiping the covers with a damp cloth and putting the book back on the shelf. We were a good team. Our job was almost done. Why didn't you take anything from the upper shelves? Upper shelves? I looked up. Sorry, I hadn't noticed them. It's all right. Wait a moment. I'll bring the chair. Even with my rather considerable stature, I wouldn't be able to get them. I stood on the chair and proceeded to remove the books from the shelves, passing them to Slavia. After a while, there were only about a dozen books left at the farthest end of the shelf. It looked to me like it wouldn't be too hard to reach that far. I always been that type to take a larger bite than biting twice. And taking that bite without moving the chair under me became a fatal error. Ouch. Oh boy. Hello. Opening my eyes, I found myself on top of Slavia. Are you alive? I got the fright of my life. Even though I'm only 17, falling off a chair onto a girl is something else. I'm fine. Her face was only an inch away from mine. Anything broken? I don't think so. You'd make a rather bad stuntman. She laughed. You bet. I looked into her eyes. Just looked. I wasn't sure what I should say. And Slavia either hesitated to or just let me take the lead. At this rate, something might happen. Her lips were close to mine. A natural desire started to awaken my body, but was it right? I had the urge to stand up, but was unable to do so. Slavia was just laying there in silence, looking straight in my eyes. All of a sudden, I noticed a bell ring on the edge of my hearing. Dinner time! Yeah. Shall we go? Or shall we lie here some more? She smiled again. This time her smile seemed foxy to me, as if she was hinting at something. Let's go. I didn't move an inch. Well, if we're gonna go, you need to get up first. Obviously. It felt like some invisible force was holding me in place. Slavia seemed to recognize that and carefully slipped out from under me. Are you going to stay there? She laughed. At that point, I finally came to my senses and stood up. I'm sorry. That's okay. But we haven't finished it all. We'll have to clean the rest up later. Yeah, sure.